Kai stepped off the sleek starship and onto the soft red soil of Solara, feeling the warm breeze brush against his face. The planet looked like a painting come to life. Towering crystal spires glimmered in the sunlight, and rivers of sparkling blue water flowed between hills covered with vibrant greenery. For Kai, who had traveled across galaxies to see new worlds, this sight was breathtaking. He could hardly believe he was finally here. The capital city, Aurelia, was alive with excitement. Streets were decorated with lanterns that glowed like tiny suns, and banners of every color fluttered in the wind. Today was the Festival of Light, a celebration of Solara's history, art, and innovation. Citizens of all ages gathered to witness performances, share stories, and enjoy delicious foods from across the planet. Kai felt a mix of awe and curiosity. Everything was so different from Earth, yet there was a familiar warmth in the laughter and music that filled the air. As Kai wandered through the bustling streets, his attention was caught by a grand palace at the center of the city. Its tall golden gates were carved with patterns of Solara's ancient symbols, and red silk banners hung from the walls, shimmering in the sunlight. A soft, pleasant scent of flowers drifted from the gardens, mixing with the smell of sweet pastries sold by nearby vendors. Something about the palace called to him, as if it held secrets waiting to be discovered. Kai made his way through the gates and into the palace grounds. Musicians played gentle tunes, and dancers moved gracefully, their colorful costumes sparkling under the sunlight. People from all corners of Solara had gathered here, talking and laughing, exchanging stories of adventure and discovery. It was unlike anything Kai had experienced before. He felt both excited and slightly nervous. He was a stranger here, yet the atmosphere invited him to explore. As he walked along a long corridor lined with golden pillars, Kai noticed someone standing near a fountain. She had long, dark hair that fell like silk over her shoulders, and her eyes sparkled with curiosity and warmth. Her dress was simple, yet elegant, with soft red fabric that mirrored the banners he had seen outside. She smiled as she noticed him staring, and Kai felt an unexpected flutter in his chest. "Hello," she said, her voice calm and melodic. "Are you visiting Solara for the festival?" Kai nodded, feeling a little shy. "Yes. I've traveled a long way to see your planet. It's incredible." She laughed softly, a sound that seemed to echo like music through the corridor. "I'm glad you think so. My name is Nia." "And you are?" "Kai," he replied, offering a small smile. "It's nice to meet you, Nia." They began walking together, moving past fountains and gardens, talking about the festival and the palace. Kai was surprised by how easily words came to him around Nia. She spoke about Solara's history and traditions with passion, yet she also asked him about Earth and his journeys. For the first time since he had arrived on this distant planet, Kai felt like he belonged, even if only for a little while. The palace was enormous, with hidden corners and quiet courtyards filled with flowers of every imaginable color. Kai found himself following Nia without thinking, drawn to her energy and the way she seemed to notice details others might miss. She showed him a small garden with a clear pond, where colorful fish swam lazily beneath floating lilies. The sunlight made the water sparkle like liquid diamonds, and Kai couldn't help but smile. "This place, it's peaceful," he said, looking around. "I didn't expect it to be so beautiful." Nia nodded, resting her hand gently on the edge of the pond. "Solara has many secrets. Some are easy to see, and some you have to look for. I think you already have the curiosity to find them." Kai felt a surge of excitement. He realized that meeting Nia had made this world even more alive for him. The festival, the palace, and even the simple act of walking through gardens now seemed brighter, more meaningful. He didn't know what adventures awaited him in the days to come, but he was certain of one thing: this encounter, in this palace filled with red silk and golden light, was the beginning of something special. As the sun began to dip behind the crystal spires, casting long shadows across the palace grounds, Kai and Nia continued their walk, talking and laughing as though they had known each other for years. The world around them was vast and full of wonders, but in that moment, it felt as if it existed just for the two of them. And somewhere deep in his heart, Kai knew that this was only the start of an extraordinary journey, one that would lead him to discoveries not only of distant worlds, but also of feelings he had never expected to find. The next morning, Kai woke to the soft hum of Aurelia City. Sunlight spilled through the window of his temporary quarters in the guest pavilion, highlighting the intricate patterns of the red and gold tapestries. He felt a sense of excitement he hadn't experienced in a long time. Today, Nia had promised to show him more of Solara's wonders, beyond the crowded festival areas. Kai made his way to the palace courtyard, where Nia was already waiting near a fountain that glittered in the morning light. She wore a simple blue dress, flowing and light, and her hair was tied back to keep it out of her face. She waved at him, and he felt his heart lift at the sight of her smile. "Good morning, Kai," Nia said. "I hope you slept well. Today, I want to show you some of the quieter places in the palace. Places most visitors never see." Kai nodded eagerly. "I would love that. I want to see everything Solara has to offer." They walked through the palace gardens first. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and soft birdsong echoed from the trees. Nia explained the significance of each plant. Some were rare, brought from distant lands, while others were native to Solara. Kai listened intently, fascinated by her knowledge and the care she had for every detail. "Everything here feels alive," he said, watching a cluster of golden butterflies flutter near a water fountain. "It's amazing how connected everything seems." Nia smiled. "That is the way of Solara. Our people believe that every living thing has a purpose. When you pay attention, you see the connections everywhere." As they wandered deeper into the gardens, Nia led him to a quiet corridor lined with red silk banners. The light streaming through the windows made the fabric glow, casting a warm, soft hue on the walls. Kai felt a sudden calmness as they walked side by side. "This corridor leads to a very special place," Nia said, her voice soft. "It's a chamber that holds some of our most treasured knowledge and art. Only a few people are allowed inside." Kai's curiosity grew. "I would be honored to see it," he said. Nia nodded and guided him through a small hidden door. Inside, the room was filled with glowing crystals, rare scrolls, and exquisite paintings depicting Solara's history. The walls were draped in deep red silk, and the air smelled faintly of sweet incense. The atmosphere was quiet, serene, and almost magical. Kai walked slowly, taking in every detail. "This is incredible," he whispered. "I've never seen anything like it. It feels peaceful." Nia moved beside him, pointing out small details in the paintings and explaining the stories behind them. Kai was captivated by her explanations, not only for the knowledge she shared but for the way she spoke, her passion, her calm presence, and the subtle excitement in her eyes. Every word she said made him feel more connected to her, and to this world that was still so new to him. After some time, they sat on a soft carpet in the corner of the chamber. Kai looked at Nia, noticing how her eyes caught the light, how her gestures were gentle yet expressive. He felt a strange but wonderful warmth in his chest, a feeling he hadn't expected when he first arrived on Solara. "Nia," he said quietly, I feel happy here. I've traveled so far, but I've never felt this connected to a place or to someone before. Nia smiled, a soft blush on her cheeks. Kai, I feel the same. Sometimes, we meet people who make everything around us brighter. I think, you are one of those people for me. Kai's heart skipped a beat. He realized that their connection was growing quickly, yet it felt natural, like it had always been meant to happen. They shared a quiet moment, simply enjoying each other's presence, letting the peace of the chamber sink into their hearts. Eventually, Nia stood and held out her hand. Come, there's more I want to show you, she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Kai took her hand, feeling a comforting warmth spread through him. Together, they explored a hidden balcony overlooking the city. From there, they could see the festival below, the rivers winding through Aurelia, and the distant hills beyond. The sight was breathtaking, but Kai realized he was more focused on the person beside him than the view. Thank you for showing me all of this, Kai said, squeezing her hand gently. I feel like I'm seeing Solara through new eyes through your eyes. Nia laughed softly. I'm glad. Sometimes, the best way to truly see a place is with someone who cares about it and about you. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, they lingered on the balcony, talking, laughing, and sharing stories. For Kai, this day marked the beginning of something extraordinary, a bond that was growing stronger, a friendship that felt like the start of something more, and the first spark of a connection that would change both of their lives forever. In the quiet corners of the red silk chamber and under the bright skies of Aurelia, Kai realized that Solara had given him more than beauty and adventure. It had given him Nia, and the promise of a journey that was just beginning. The evening air of Aurelia was soft and warm as Kai and Nia returned to the palace courtyard. The festival lights flickered like tiny stars, and the laughter of the crowds floated on the gentle breeze. Kai felt a sense of excitement and nervousness as he followed Nia through the halls. Tonight, she had promised to show him something very special, a tradition that few outsiders ever witnessed. The grand banquet hall was filled with Solara's citizens, all dressed in colorful garments. Long tables were arranged in a circle, laden with foods Kai had never seen before: glowing fruits, delicate pastries, and steaming dishes filled with fragrant spices. Musicians played soft, melodic tunes, and the hall shimmered with golden light. Kai's eyes widened at the beauty and richness of the celebration. Nia led him to an open space near the center of the hall. Tonight, she said with a smile, we will dance. It is a tradition to honor the festival, but it is also a way to share joy and friendship. Would you like to join me? Kai hesitated for a moment. He had danced on Earth only a few times and never in a formal setting. But when he looked at Nia, with her gentle encouragement and sparkling eyes, he felt courage fill him. Yes, he said, offering his hand. I would be honored. As the music began, Kai followed Nia's movements. At first, he felt awkward, unsure of the steps and rhythms. But Nia was patient, guiding him with soft gestures and quiet instructions. Her hands were warm in his, and her laughter rang like music in the hall. Soon, Kai found himself moving more confidently, matching her grace and energy. As they danced, Kai realized something remarkable. It was not just the steps or the music that made the moment special, it was the connection between him and Nia. Every glance, every touch, every shared smile created a bond that felt deeper than words. The crowd around them blurred into a soft background, and all Kai could see was Nia, glowing in the golden light of the hall. Between dances, they laughed and caught their breath. Nia's curiosity about Earth made the conversation easy and playful. Kai told her stories of his home planet, of its oceans, forests, and cities, and she listened with genuine interest, asking thoughtful questions. In return, she spoke of Solara's history, its achievements, and the dreams of its people. "You make me see Solara differently," Kai said softly as the music paused for a moment. "It is beautiful, but it feels alive when I am with you." Nia's eyes widened slightly, and a gentle blush colored her cheeks. "And you make me see things I had forgotten," she said. "Sometimes, we become so used to our world that we stop noticing its magic. You remind me to look with wonder again." The music began again, and they returned to the dance. This time, their movements felt effortless, almost like they were moving as one. Kai could feel Nia's trust in him, and he found himself wanting to be careful, to move in harmony with her, to match her energy and spirit. Their laughter mixed with the music, creating a joyful rhythm that seemed to fill the entire hall. After a while, they stepped aside to rest near a fountain. The water shimmered under the lantern light, reflecting the red silk banners that hung around the hall. Kai looked at Nia and felt a surge of gratitude. He had traveled across galaxies seeking adventure, but he had not expected to find such warmth, friendship, and connection so quickly. "Nia," he said, "I am glad I met you. This, everything, is so much more special because you are here with me." She smiled, her eyes soft and sincere. "And I am glad you came, Kai. There are many wonders on Solara, but the best ones are the ones we share with someone who cares." They sat quietly for a few moments, watching the festival continue around them. Kai realized that the day had given him more than beautiful sights and new experiences. It had given him trust, friendship, and the first spark of feelings he could not ignore. Nia was more than a guide to this world, she was becoming someone important in his life. As the evening drew to a close, the music softened, and the crowd began to leave. Kai and Nia walked together along the quiet corridors of the palace, their hands brushing occasionally. The red silk banners swayed gently above them, catching the last light of the lanterns. "I look forward to tomorrow," Kai said, smiling. "I feel like there is so much more to explore, together." Nia returned his smile, her eyes reflecting the golden glow of the halls. "Yes, Kai. And I believe this is only the beginning of something wonderful." With that, they stepped out onto a balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons of Solara hung low in the sky, casting silver light over the sparkling rivers and the festival grounds below. In that quiet moment, Kai felt a sense of peace and excitement at the same time. He knew that this day, this evening, and this friendship with Nia were steps toward a journey that would change both of their lives. And for the first time, Kai realized that adventure was not only about discovering new worlds, it was also about discovering hearts, and that some journeys were meant to be shared. The next morning, Kai could hardly wait to see what Nia had promised. She had spoken of a special chamber hidden deep inside the palace, a place filled with wonders few had ever seen. The thought of exploring it made him both excited and curious. He hurried through the sunlit corridors until he found Nia waiting for him near a quiet staircase. "Good morning, Kai," she said, her eyes bright with anticipation. "Are you ready to see the red silk chamber?" Kai nodded eagerly. "Yes. I've been wondering what makes it so special." Nia smiled and led him through a series of twisting hallways, their walls lined with golden carvings that shimmered in the morning light. The corridors were quiet, far from the crowded festival areas, and Kai felt a sense of calm as they walked together. The red silk banners that hung along the walls swayed gently, adding warmth and color to the golden corridors. "This way, Nia whispered as she approached a hidden door tucked behind a tapestry. She pulled it aside, revealing a small keyhole that glowed faintly. With a small gesture, she produced a golden key and unlocked the door. The soft click echoed in the empty hallway. "After this," she said, "you will see why it is called the Red Silk Chamber." Kai stepped through the doorway, and his eyes widened in amazement. The room was larger than he had imagined. Red silk draped the walls from floor to ceiling, catching the light in soft, shimmering folds. The floor was covered with thick carpets, and glowing crystals illuminated the chamber with a gentle, warm light. Rare artifacts, paintings, and intricate sculptures filled the space, each seeming to tell a story of Solara's history, art, and achievements. "It's beautiful," Kai whispered. "I've never seen anything like this before. It feels alive." Nia nodded. "This chamber holds the treasures of Solara's greatest minds and artists. It is a place of learning, creativity, and inspiration. Very few are allowed inside, because it is meant to be a place of respect and wonder." Kai walked slowly, his hands brushing lightly over the edges of the silk and the smooth surfaces of the sculptures. Each artifact seemed to hold a story, and Nia explained them with care. She told him about inventions that had changed Solara's history, about artists who had captured the beauty of the planets in their paintings, and about thinkers who had shaped the laws of their society. Kai was fascinated not only by the treasures but by Nia's knowledge and her passion for her world. He realized that she had grown up with a deep appreciation for Solara, and her connection to the planet made everything she shared feel alive. He listened intently, learning not just about Solara, but about the values and dreams of the people who lived there. "This is incredible," Kai said, turning to look at Nia. "You know so much about all of this. I feel like I am seeing Solara through your eyes, and it's amazing." Nia smiled softly. "That is the best way to understand a place, Kai. When you see it through someone who loves it, every detail feels alive. I'm glad I can share it with you." They moved to a quiet corner of the chamber where a small balcony overlooked the palace gardens below. Sunlight streamed through the silk curtains, painting the room in warm shades of red and gold. Kai looked around the chamber again and realized that this place was more than a collection of treasures. It was a sanctuary, a space for learning, for inspiration, and for connection. For a while, they simply sat together, taking in the beauty of the room and the gentle sounds of the palace beyond. Kai felt a growing sense of admiration for Nia, not just for her knowledge, but for her kindness, her patience, and her ability to make him feel welcome in a world so different from his own. "Nia," he said quietly, "thank you for bringing me here. This is more than I could have imagined. It feels like a place where anything is possible." She turned to him, her eyes soft and thoughtful. "That is exactly what it is, Kai. And I think it is a place where people can see the best in themselves and in each other. That is why I wanted to share it with you." Kai smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest he could not explain. Being here with Nia, in this quiet and beautiful place, made him feel closer to her than ever. He realized that their connection was deepening, not just through words and laughter, but through shared wonder and trust. As the sun continued to rise, casting soft light across the red silk and golden artifacts, Kai knew that the red silk chamber would remain in his memory forever, not just as a beautiful place, but as the first moment he truly felt a bond with someone who understood him, someone who inspired him to see the world in a new way. And as they left the chamber together, hand in hand, Kai felt certain that this journey, with its adventures and discoveries, was only just beginning. The morning sun streamed through the palace windows as Kai and Nia walked through the quiet halls of Aurelia. The red silk chamber had left a deep impression on Kai, But today, Nia had something new to show him, a lesson in responsibility and trust. As they entered a spacious room used for learning and planning, Kai noticed a group of palace officials gathered around a table covered in maps and documents. Kai, Nia whispered, these officials are going to teach you about Solara's exploration missions. But remember, it is important to be honest and careful with what you say. Solara values trust above all. Kai nodded, feeling a mixture of curiosity and nervousness. He had always prided himself on his honesty, but he realized that every word mattered here, especially in the presence of those who governed the palace. The officials greeted him politely but with careful eyes. "Welcome, visitor," one said. "We hear you have a deep interest in Solara. We hope you understand the responsibilities of knowledge and trust while you are here." Kai felt the weight of their words. He knew he must be respectful and careful. Nia stood beside him, offering a calm smile that reminded him to remain confident. As the officials explained the city's planning and the organization of exploration missions, Kai listened intently. He asked questions, shared ideas, and expressed his genuine interest in learning. Nia occasionally guided him, adding context or clarifying points he might not understand immediately. But not everyone in the room was convinced of Kai's intentions. One official leaned forward, raising an eyebrow. "How do we know your interest is genuine?" he asked. "Many outsiders come here seeking fame or profit. What makes you different?" Kai felt a moment of panic, unsure how to answer. Nia placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "Kai," she whispered softly, "be honest. Speak from your heart." Taking a deep breath, Kai nodded. "I am here because I want to understand Solara, its people, and its culture. I have traveled far not for fame, but to learn and to experience. I respect this place and its people, and I promise to honor your traditions while I am here." The officials studied him carefully, their expressions unreadable. Kai's words hung in the air for a moment, and then one of them nodded slowly. "Your honesty is noted. Trust must be earned, but it seems you understand its importance." Kai exhaled quietly, feeling relief and gratitude. He glanced at Nia, who smiled proudly. Her faith in him had helped him remain composed, and he realized that their bond was not just about friendship, it was built on trust and support. After the meeting, Nia led Kai to a quiet garden within the palace. Birds chirped softly, and sunlight danced on the leaves of tall, colorful trees. They sat on a bench overlooking a small pond, the water reflecting the blue sky above. "You did well, Kai," Nia said, her voice gentle. "I knew you would speak from your heart. Trust is the foundation of everything here, and you proved that you can be trusted." Kai looked at her, feeling a warmth that went beyond gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you, Nia. Your support, it made all the difference." She reached out, brushing a strand of hair from his face. "We all need someone to remind us of what is important. That is what friends or more are for." Kai felt a surge of emotion. He realized that Nia was more than a guide or a friend. She was someone who inspired him, who encouraged him to be the best version of himself, and who made him feel safe even in challenging situations. They stayed in the garden for a long time, talking quietly about their dreams and hopes. Kai shared his plans to explore more worlds and learn from different civilizations, and Nia spoke of her desire to see beyond Solara, to experience life and adventure alongside someone she could trust. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the garden, Kai felt a sense of clarity. Challenges would come, he knew, but he also understood that facing them with someone who believed in him could make all the difference. Nia had taught him that courage was not only about facing the unknown, it was about honesty, integrity, and trust. "I'm glad we met, Nia," Kai said softly. "You've shown me more than just the beauty of Solara. You've shown me how to see the best in myself." Nia smiled, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the setting sun. "And you've reminded me that even someone from far away can be genuine and brave. Together, we can face anything, Kai." Hand in hand, they walked back through the palace corridors, the red silk banners swaying gently above them. For Kai, the day had been a lesson in courage, honesty, and friendship, and a reminder that the strongest bonds are formed not only through joy, but also through trust and support. And as they looked toward the horizon, Kai felt certain that whatever adventures awaited them, he and Nia would face them side by side. The evening air was cool and soft as Kai and Nia walked quietly through the palace gardens. The festival had ended, and the city of Aurelia was calm, bathed in the gentle glow of lanterns and moonlight. For the first time in days, Kai felt a peaceful quiet settle over him. He had learned so much about Solara, its people, and its traditions, but tonight was different. Tonight felt personal. Nia led him toward a secluded hill that overlooked the city. The path was lined with flowering trees, their petals glowing faintly in the moonlight. As they climbed, Kai noticed how the air smelled of fresh blossoms and warm earth. The soft rustle of leaves and the distant trickle of fountains made the world feel almost magical. When they reached the top, Kai stopped and looked around in awe. From the hill, the city stretched below them like a tapestry of lights and colors. Twin moons hung low in the sky, casting a silver glow over the rivers and gardens. It was breathtaking, but Kai realized he was more captivated by the person beside him than the view. They sat together on a smooth rock near the edge of the hill. Nia tucked her legs beneath her and looked out over the city, her expression thoughtful. Kai watched her, feeling a mixture of admiration and nervous excitement. He had wanted to say something for a while now, something he had felt growing stronger every day since he had arrived on Solara. "Nia," he began softly, I wanted to tell you something." She turned to him, her eyes gentle and encouraging. "What is it, Kai?" He took a deep breath, trying to calm the sudden rush of emotions. "I didn't expect to feel this way when I came here. I thought I was only looking for adventure and knowledge. But meeting you, it's changed everything. I feel connected to you in a way I can't explain. You've made this world brighter for me, and I care about you." Nia's eyes softened, and a small smile curved her lips. For a moment, she said nothing, simply looking at him. Then she reached out, brushing her hand lightly over his. "Kai," she said quietly, "I feel the same. From the moment we met, I felt something I couldn't name. But now, being with you, sharing these moments, I understand. You make me feel alive in ways I didn't know I could." Kai's heart leapt at her words. Relief, joy, and warmth spread through him, and he realized that the connection they shared was more than friendship. It was a bond built on trust, admiration, and shared wonder. They sat together in silence for a while, letting the beauty of the moons and the city wash over them. The gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers, and the stars above twinkled as if celebrating their moment. Kai felt a sense of peace and certainty he had never known before. "I was afraid," Kai admitted softly, "that I might be wrong about us. That maybe these feelings were just excitement from being in a new world. But now, I know they are real." Nia squeezed his hand gently. "It is natural to feel unsure," she said. "But our hearts often know the truth before our minds do. And ours, they are in agreement." Kai laughed softly, a mixture of happiness and relief. I'm glad, he said. Because I don't want this us to end. I want to explore everything, not just this world, but life itself, with you by my side. Nia leaned closer, resting her head briefly on his shoulder. And I want the same, Kai. We have already shared so much, and I believe there is so much more to discover together. With trust, courage, and care, we can face anything. They sat together under the twin moons, their hands entwined, hearts full of newfound understanding. Kai realized that the greatest adventures were not just about discovering new worlds, but about discovering each other, sharing thoughts, dreams, and moments that became memories for a lifetime. As the night deepened, Kai and Nia rose and walked back toward the palace, their steps slow and unhurried. Each glance, each smile, reinforced the connection they had acknowledged moments ago. The city lights reflected in their eyes, and the soft red silk banners swayed gently in the night breeze as if marking the beginning of something beautiful. Kai knew that the bond they had formed tonight would guide them through the challenges and joys that lay ahead. Nia had not only shown him the wonders of Solara but had also revealed the wonders of trust, companionship, and love. And as they disappeared into the quiet corridors of the palace, hand in hand, Kai felt a certainty he had never known before, that this journey, and every journey to come, would be extraordinary, because they would face it together. The morning sun bathed Aurelia in soft golden light, and Kai felt a mixture of excitement and sadness. Today was the day he and Nia had planned to leave the palace and begin their journey beyond Solara. He had learned so much in this world, seen wonders he had never imagined, and most importantly, discovered a connection with Nia that made him feel complete. Nia waited for him in the palace gardens, her simple green dress flowing in the gentle breeze. She smiled warmly when she saw him, and Kai felt his chest fill with warmth. "Good morning, Kai," she said. "Are you ready?" "I am," Kai replied, taking a deep breath. "I've never felt more ready for anything in my life." They walked together through the palace corridors one last time. The red silk banners swayed gently above them, catching the morning light. Every corner of the palace seemed to hold memories of their time together, the laughter in the banquet hall, the quiet moments in the red silk chamber, and the heartfelt confessions under the twin moons. Kai felt grateful for each memory, knowing they had shaped the bond he shared with Nia. As they stepped out of the palace gates, Kai looked back at the grand structure one last time. "This place will always be special to me," he said softly. "Not just for its beauty, but for everything we experienced here." Nia nodded, her eyes reflecting the same sentiment. "It will always be part of us," she said. "The red silk chamber, the gardens, the festival, they are memories we will carry wherever we go." Their starship awaited them at the edge of the city, sleek and shining under the Solaran sun. Kai felt a thrill of anticipation as he looked at it, but his hand never left Nia's. Together, they stepped aboard, feeling the familiar hum of the ship beneath their feet. It was a symbol of adventure, a bridge to the worlds beyond Solara, and a promise of new experiences they would share together. As the ship lifted off, the city of Aurelia grew smaller beneath them, rivers sparkling like silver ribbons and crystal spires glinting in the sunlight. Kai leaned close to Nia, and she rested her head on his shoulder. The wind of the engines and the gentle hum of the ship were comforting, but more than anything, it was the presence of each other that made everything feel right. "We've seen so much here," Kai said, breaking the silence. "But I feel like our journey is just beginning. There's so much more to explore, and I want to see it all with you." Nia smiled, her eyes shining with excitement. "I feel the same, Kai. Together, we can go anywhere. We can face challenges, discover new worlds, and learn more about each other every step of the way. The ship passed through the thin clouds of Solara's atmosphere, leaving the planet behind. Kai felt a sense of freedom and possibility unlike anything he had known before. He realized that this journey was not just about visiting new worlds, it was about growing, learning, and sharing every moment with someone who mattered. Hours passed as they traveled through the stars. They spoke of dreams, of the places they wanted to see, and of the adventures that awaited them. They laughed together, shared quiet smiles, and occasionally fell into thoughtful silence, watching distant planets and sparkling nebulae drift past the ship's windows. Kai looked at Nia, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Meeting you has changed everything for me," he said softly. "I came to Solara seeking adventure, but I found someone who makes life more meaningful. Someone I can trust, someone I care about deeply." Nia took his hand, squeezing it gently. "And I feel the same, Kai. You've shown me that even the most ordinary moments can become extraordinary when shared with the right person. I can't wait to see what the universe has in store for us." As the ship glided through the endless expanse of space, Kai realized that the memories of Solara, the red silk chamber, the gardens, the festivals, and the quiet moments under the moons would always be a part of them. They were a foundation for the life they were beginning together, a life filled with trust, curiosity, and love. Kai and Nia leaned back in their seats, hands intertwined, hearts full of hope and excitement. They knew that challenges would come, that new worlds could be unpredictable and strange, but they also knew they had each other. And that was enough. Together, they looked out at the stars, feeling the infinite possibilities of the universe stretch before them. Every flicker of light was a promise, every distant planet a new adventure. And through it all, they would face the future side by side, hearts aligned and spirits bound by the extraordinary bond they had discovered in the red silk-filled palace. For Kai and Nia, the journey had only just begun. And they knew, without a doubt, that the love and trust they had found would guide them through every step of the way, making every moment a discovery and every world a home.